Hello there folks, Bonkekook here, aka your Lonely Achievement God, continuing our challenge coverage of Lawn Mowing Simulator with Expert Challenge number 2, the Garden Lawns of 59 Coville Street. Another stripe challenge. You only have 11 minutes and 30 seconds, but that is enough time to do this. Don't worry about that. We do need a 95% stripe rating as well. Not too difficult, especially on this lawn. There isn't a lot of things to worry about. In fact, the lawns themselves have no obstacles on them. So you don't have the pro view, so just take it slow. Make sure you're not overloading your engine. And as long as you follow along with me, we'll get this challenge completed very quickly. For the stripe challenges, I do prefer an overhead view, so that's what I will be doing. We're going to get down here, make sure we change our cut height to 6 to 7. It is important to note that you only need a 99.5% completion target instead of 99.9, so that does give you some wiggle room if you miss little tiny pieces of grass. We need to get down to 6 to 7, so go ahead and get to 7. Start your blades, hit right bumper to drop your roller, and we're going to start moving right along here. What you're going to do is get to the end, turn your mower, and then alternate your cut back. That's all you're going to be doing across this entire lawn. You don't have to be perfectly straight, and you don't have to follow the arrows. The arrows are just a recommendation. They are not designed to be exact. Do be cautious. I did overload my engine a bit there. Just make sure you're kind of tapping the accelerator to get across. And that's another reason why you don't need to make full runs across. You can overlap what you've already cut if you need to, so that you don't overload your engine quite as much. As always, we do have the overload, the engine condition thing in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen that we need to watch out for. So don't overload your engine too much so you don't fail because of engine damage. But we just need to keep our stripe rating within 5% of our cut percent. Our progress up there. So be cautious here because of the trees. It can be difficult to see. You can zoom in a little bit further if you need to, although I kind of find this perspective a little bit too narrow. But when you get to the portions with the trees over top, you may have to switch to this in order to see what you're doing. Now we head to the backyard and continue the same pattern. Be careful not to overload your engine too much. Slow down if you do. I recommend immediately pulling your finger off the accelerator if you do overload. You do have a decent amount of time on this challenge, although it doesn't seem like it. In the backyard here, you do have to be cautious when you get to the end. There is a technique that you can use. Well, it's not so much a technique. Just you can actually lift up your striping kit when you get here if you need to. That way you're not damaging your stripes, but the amount of damage you're going to do to your stripes at that point from turning is negligible in terms of you just need a 95% stripe rating, and as long as you're following along with what I'm doing, those little bits at the end aren't going to make that much of a difference. And just so you know, if you do miss too much grass to get your completion, you can actually raise your striping kit and still run over the lawns where you need to cut grass. And it won't damage your stripe rating. So we have left quite a bit of grass behind because I overloaded my engine quite a bit on that first lawn we did. So if we do get to the end and still need to up our progress percent to finish the challenge, we're gonna hit right bumper again to raise our striping kit, and we're gonna drive over some of those sections, and that won't damage our striping rating, but we'll just have to see if it comes to that. We're making very good time. We have 5.5 minutes left, and we're at 75% of the lawn cut now. This back lawn isn't quite as overgrown as the front lawn, I think, so it makes it easier to make your passes without overloading your engine. And we just have one more lawn to do. As I mentioned, we just need to get to a 99.5 progress in order to finish our challenge. We're at 92.8% and we still have 4 minutes left, so plenty of time on this challenge. There we go, we completed the cut. As I said before, we got a 99.8% stripe rating too. If you did need to go cut some more, you can lift up your striping kit and drive over some of the spots where you overloaded your engine and missed some cutting. If you really need to do that, you don't damage your stripe rating too much by doing this. As you can see, we're driving all over and it's not really going down. The only thing that might damage it is if you turn too sharply, you could damage the ground, which could affect your stripe rating, but you can do some cleanup if you need to. But that's all there is to it, folks. If you have any questions for me, as always, reach out to me and I'll do my best to answer them. But if not, I will see you guys next time.